Amigos! How is everybody today? My name is Vicki-Lynne and this is Cooking Vegan with Vicki. I've decided to start a series of Taco Tuesdays because why? Tacos are so darn popular here in America. How popular are they, you ask? That we consume 4.5 billion, that's right, with a B, billion tacos a year here in America. And in a couple of months, in May, on May 5th, it will be Cinco de Mayo. So us vegans need a repertoire of good tacos to have to celebrate with our margaritas. So let's get started on a couple. So I'm hoping to have a nice series of Taco Tuesdays. So by the time we get there, we will have a great repertoire to celebrate with everyone else. So the first taco I'm going to be doing is going to be a lentil taco. And lentils are so friendly. I like this one because it is a very friendly, plant-based, very economical. It's going to keep everything very budget-friendly. And we're going to use an Instant Pot. If you don't have an Instant Pot, you are fine to cook these on the stove. It's going to be the same recipe. So in our Instant Pot, I'm actually going to turn it on to our saute feature first. And what we're going to do is I'm going to saute our onions and our garlic. We want to impart flavor. That's just as beeping telling me that it understands I want to saute. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of water because we're not going to put any oil into these. And we're just going to warm that up. And we're just going to add a little bit of onion. And we're going to get that going. So you can add whatever you want. You do the spices that you want. And you really can just actually put these in. I like to add depth of flavor. So cooking them down a little bit and browning them, you're caramelizing them and you're getting more depth of flavor. If you don't have onions, you can just throw everything into the pot, add some onion powder, add some garlic powder. You don't have to worry about it. We're not here to, it's not rocket science. We're just adding more flavors. I'm going to use a taco seasoning. Again, if you have the individual spices, you can do that too. There's lots of taco recipes. But I'm going to eventually just add this in, cook our lentils that way. And again, when you get your lentils, you're going to want to go through them individually. Just kind of go through your hands and just check them for pebbles. Apparently, lentils are, because of the size of them, we're using brown lentils. You could use brown or green lentils. These are, again, very versatile, but they do kind of mimic like ground beef. I mean, they're not really, but I prefer lentils over the faux meat just because they're a little healthier and I find that they digest better in my stomach. So again, we're just going to get this started. So our onions are starting to cook. I'm just going to give them a little stir. Okay, so now our onions are sauteing nicely. We're going to add our garlic in, and this is just minced garlic. You can mince it yourself. You can use the jar, whatever you have. And if you don't have it, you can use, again, garlic powder. We're just going to cook that off for a minute or so. So the lentils, you do not need to soak. Lentils are great because they are quick cooking. We're going to add our lentils in here, and I'm going to add vegetable broth. And to our lentils, we're using 1.5 cups of lentils, and we're going to add 3 cups of broth, so it's a 2 to 1 ratio. So for every cup of, let me just see what's going on. There we go. So for every cup of lentils, you're going to use 2 cups of broth. And this is just going to add more flavor, but at least with this broth, it doesn't have a lot of salt. I know I use a lot better than bouillon, but sometimes that's a little salty. There we go. And then I'm going to add in my taco seasoning. Just going to add that in. And that was actually probably half a packet. Again, just use what you have, but you could use the El Paso. There we go. We're going to turn off the saute function, and now we're going to put our lid on. There we go. Now we're going to set it to seal, or it's not going to work, and we're going to do manual, and we're actually going to do 10 minutes. Now for the lentils, we're going to do 10 minutes, and then we're going to do a quick release. So normally you would let it do a natural release for another 10 minutes once it's finished, but this one we're actually going to do a 10-minute quick release. So there we go. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay, so there we go. So now our time is up. We're going to release the steam. Stand back. Use a long utensil because this is going to steam off. There we go. That's what we want. Make sure there's nothing above it because this is going to go off. And so that's, again, we've cooked this for 10 minutes. If you want your lentils really mushy, you could do about 12. I like mine a little firmer. And again, just letting the steam off. And you can actually turn off the power to it. There we go. Yeah, these new Instant Pots are so much better than the ones that my mother had. Growing up, she was terrified to use it. She actually used it once and never used it again because she was terrified to use it. But these are wonderful. They do so much. Okay. So now when the steam has released, your little lever will go down, and that'll tell you that it's safe to open the lid. And it really won't let you until you can. There we go. So now these lentils look like there's still a lot of liquid in them. I'm going to give them a stir. There we go. They look delicious. And I'm actually going to give them a quick taste just to see how they are, if they're firm or if they need to cook a little bit more. So they do actually need to cook a little bit more. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just put the lid back on and let them steam with the lid on. So we're going to let them sit for another 10-15 minutes and see how they are at that point. You can always put the saute factor back on. So I'll put that on just real quick and lock it up. And we'll just put the saute factor on for about another 10 minutes and see how they are, and you're just going to play with them until they're at the consistency that you want. Okay, so now our lentils are finally cooked, so I would have probably guessed done them for about 12 minutes in the Instant Pot. I did have to cook them a little bit longer, and I added a little bit extra water, but they are finally nicely cooked. They're gorgeous. And so what I'm going to do, if you have a gas stove, I would cook your tortillas that way, just a low flame on a gas stove. Unfortunately, this place that we have does not have that. So I'm just going to use the griddle here in front of me, and we're going to do a few tacos. So we're just going to warm our tortillas and makes it more pliable. So we have a little taco bar going. So unfortunately, I know everybody has seen tacos. Taco Bell is not a good example of an authentic taco. They do not come with lettuce and tomato and cheese on top. They actually authentically come with normally cabbage, white onion, and cilantro. So I have that here. I also have some purple cabbage or red cabbage, whatever you want to call it. We have some pico de gallo. I'm also going to link my pico de gallo recipe up here for you, and also my guacamole recipe because that would be really tasty on this. I have some salsa verde. You always want to put a fresh squeeze of a lime on it, and some fresh avocado. And also another great thing, just going to grab that from the fridge because you know me, I always forget something. Pickled onions would also be really well on this. I don't always like the raw onions. Again, they're a little harder on my stomach, so I'm actually going to put a few. So I actually have the soft tortillas here. These are corn tortillas. That's more authentic, not the floured ones. But if that's all you can find, that's fine. You use that. And then there's also the hard tacos. So I'm going to do a couple of hard tacos, a couple of soft tacos. You can also, we're going to have different tacos coming up in the coming weeks. We're going to have different fillings, and we're just going to have a really good taco party every week. So these are doing really well, and I'm just going to start filling our tacos and giving you a couple of different fillings and different scenarios with them. So we're going to fill this one with our first lentils. And so we already have them flavored, and this one I'm going to put in some of our white cabbage, and then just, yes, we'll do some of our purple, okay, and our cilantro. Cilantro is the one thing that's on almost all of them, and you're going to usually squeeze it with a little bit of lime. Always delicious that way. And probably my husband will like it very hot, so we'll do a little with the salsa verde. And then we're gonna go with a soft taco. And a lot of times the authentic way to do it is they actually double shell them. Did I lose my spoon? I guess I did. Oh, right here in the pot. There we go. So we're just going to do our lentils. I'm actually going to put it in the boat so it'll hold it because that is hot. And I'm going to add the purple cabbage because it's going to look awesome that way. And some of the white onion. And cilantro. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to add this one. I'm going to add some pico de gallo. Now the pico de gallo is actually the Mexican flag because it has red, white, and green in it. We're gonna add some cilantro. Again, if you don't like cilantro, I know a lot of people don't like, some people don't like cilantro, it tastes like soap. You could add parsley if you really wanted to. It's not authentic, but hey, you do what you need to do. And again, we're just gonna add, and these are great for parties. You can just have different fillings, different times, and let everybody make whatever they want. Again, you can have whatever fillings you want. And don't forget to top it off with your avocado. It's creamy, it'll take away from the heat. And again, make them as hot as you want, as cool as you want. And I would add a little bit of salt on the top of those avocados. Because every avocado needs a little bit of salt. So I hope you enjoyed our first Taco Tuesday. And again, don't forget, hit that subscribe button so you're notified next Tuesday when I upload our next recipe, and give this a big thumbs up. Hope you guys are having a good day, and see you next time.